I had the chance to explore many different practices throughout the years, different techniques that are meant to help with understanding and getting free from suffering. Although, in essence, all these different practices are about extricating awareness from the busy stream of thoughts and experiences, still, at different times, we might use a different one depending on what we feel we need. So, that's how I found myself in an improvisation-based dance program after a 3-month of Vipassana retreats. Dance and embodiment was the first practice I did, and is one I keep returning to again and again. It's interesting to look at the relationship we have with our bodies. It's either a problem because it doesn't look the way we think it should, and because we experience pain and discomfort through it. Or we completely forget about it, and it becomes just this vehicle that carries the thinking process from one place to the next. But if we take some time to look at and experience the body more deeply, it opens up many treasures we couldn't have previously imagined. Every experience gets recorded by the body. It stores all the ups and downs we have been through, all the repressed emotions that were too hard to deal with at the time. This is why for most of us, the body can feel so tired and uncomfortable a lot of the times, because it's just overloaded by the thinking process and the constant emotional stimulus. If we don't take time to express ourselves, we can become very numb to life. That's why it's important to start expressing what is within us through using the body. The practice starts very simple, just by lying on the ground and tuning ourselves to hearing what is happening, feeling all the different forces, the weight of gravity and the support of the earth, the breath flowing in and out. And then, maybe, some simple movement arises. It can be anything. You just have to allow the body to do what it needs. I love rolling, for example. It opens up the body in such a beautiful way and brings a baby-like simplicity to the mind. For me, these practices play a huge role in healing, because we all suffered the same trauma at some point in our life. We all know this feeling of not being accepted for who we are. If you look at a baby, for example, that is a pure expression of life. The baby doesn't have filters, so to say. It can't alter its expression. It's pure. It's completely pure of anything that was added onto it. But as the baby starts growing, from the outer circumstances, parents, environment, friends, it is getting a feedback that he or she is not good somehow. He or she is doing something wrong. And this sense of inadequacy, of I'm not good enough, I am wrong somehow, is very deeply pushed into most of us. And so this is what I mean by trauma that we have suffered. We all suffer this trauma of not being accepted for who we are. And as we started to grow, we learned new ways again and again to alter our expression. We are not letting pure expression to happen. We have to alter our expression, how we act, how we talk, what we say, to be accepted, to be loved, to be heard, to connect with others. Because we don't think we belong or we'll be accepted if we just allowed ourselves to express itself freely, purely. And so these practices really encourage you to let go of all that conditioning, all the ways in which you learned how to alter your expression, and puts you in the body that just allows you to tap into what's it like to be a baby again, to just be pure expression of what is, without thinking, without trying to change anything, but just that. We will never be able to learn how to freely express ourselves, be honest and authentic, through the thinking mind. Because thinking is conditioned, partially, by all the fear and pain that comes from not being unconditionally accepted for who we are. But the body is a good starting point. The body is a perfect manifestation of everything that was and of what is right now. And so by entering into it, we can start bringing space and awareness to all the things that we couldn't previously see or look at. We have to start by learning to see, be with, and express what is present for us right now. The posture the body takes reflects the state the mind is in, and a lot of times we can change the state of our mind by putting the body into different postures. This is easily misused, however, in the sense that we might think, oh, this is a bad state of mind and I want something good. That's why embodiment can be such a beautiful practice, because we don't want to change what is happening, just bring more awareness to it through the body. So, if you are full of worry and sadness, you can start just by feeling these emotions in the body and see where that leads you. If you just follow how the body feels and really let your whole being to become one with it without judgment, the body will automatically start to express itself. And with expression comes release. We are not trying to change our experience. We are learning how to be with and then let go of any experience that might come. The challenge for me, mostly because I had long years of dance training, is that when I get into movement, and I think this is something that most of us deal with when we get into movement, we think there is a right way and then there's a wrong way. And I get into performing. Making this video for you, I wanted to impress you and wanted you to like me. And so many times when I was recording the movements, I actually saw myself just performing and trying to impress. And this is not an issue, because on the way to learn how to express yourself authentically, honestly, openly, purely, the way to get there leads through all the ways in which you don't express yourself purely. Meaning that you have to learn the ways in which you alter your expression, all the ways in which you don't feel you're good enough, all the ways you think you're wrong, all the ways you want others to like you, to accept you, You can really look at all the desires, the craving for wanting to be somebody special who is loved and accepted, and you think if you act a certain way, then people will finally love you and accept you. And it's like, I really think most of the time that I have to be in a certain way to be heard, to be seen, to be accepted. But what I find is that, like, when I pay attention to other people, when my heart opens and wants to connect with them is not when they are acting perfectly, but when they're able to express all the ways in which they don't feel like they are perfect. The fear, the pain, and that's what embodiment practice is about. It allows you to express all that. And that's expressing the ways in which you can't express yourself purely is already pure expression happening in the process. For me, dance and embodiment practices give me the chance to learn about what stops me from expressing myself honestly and openly. What are the ways in which I don't allow myself to be vulnerable? And it gives me the chance to give space for pure expression to happen more and more. By learning about my nature, I can see it not as something that is separate from the rest of nature. All the thoughts, feelings, emotions that can make us feel so separate and cut off from others and the environment are actually just another part of nature, just like the trees, rivers, and the wind. The moment we stop identifying with all these naturally unfolding processes that don't belong to us, we have the chance to just see them and accept them as they are. We are really just the universe experiencing itself. Once we stop doubting and judging and start just looking at what is without pushing anything away, we can finally appreciate our nature as another essential part of this wonderful, vibrant life that we are.